session 2 of Equanimous Pause, and today we are going to be talking about guilt. Just to help us have a visual, I have this picture of guilt today, and like you can see, look at how heavy it is. This person is holding a heavy burden. So guilt is like that. It bogs us down and it does not let us come up with the energy that we are, and also it blocks the light that is the true essence of who it is we are. So let's talk about what happens. So what do we do when we look back at our life? First of all, we're going to enter the past. And then we have seen that we have made mistakes, right? We all have. Like, is there anybody who's so pristine with no mistakes at all? I don't think so. So what do we do when this happens, when we look back and we see that we have made mistakes? Usually we start wallowing. We are like, why did this happen to me? Why? And we are crying about spilt milk, which is already done, and we keep on beating ourselves for the mistake that has happened in the past. But we are continuously beating ourselves up, even now in the present moment, for that same mistake. So in reality, we are trying to tell ourselves that you should have known better. So today we are trying to understand how to transform this guilt and move out from this place of resistance, absent from the present moment, and of course, understanding this harsh critique within us who's constantly telling us, you should have known better, why did you not do this, or why did you do this? So in order to do this, let's understand the nature of guilt. So first of all, what I have seen whenever I'm guilty is I notice that, oh, I'm being a little bit narcissistic here. Like, am I so perfect that I can't even make a mistake? Am I perfect all the time? Or should I be? Like, if I say I should be, then who do I think I am? So first of all, guilt is narcissistic to think that we should have never made a mistake. Second, it's like, I did this. We are wallowing about what we did, and it's I did. And this is a kind of self-absorption, don't you think? I mean, it's not all about you. Now let's move on. The other thing that you should have known better is a harsh critique that is within us. Now, what we need to understand is that we have acted from the level of consciousness that we had at that moment in time. How could it have been anything else? That's why it's perfect just the way it is. And last but not the least, we know that when we are being guilty, we are dwelling in the past. We are not here. So understanding this nature of the guilt, that it is narcissistic, it is self-absorption, it is critical, the harsh critique inside us, and we have gone into the past. Going into the past has its beauty, we can learn from the mistakes. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the wallowing. Oh, I did this. Why did this happen? Why did this happen? When we learn from our past, what do? We go back, we see, oh, okay, that's what happened last time. Maybe I should try something new this time. That is different from wallowing in guilt. So what do we want to do? We want to transform this guilt. We don't want to, bog us down and keep us feeling lesser than, or whatever it is. So for that transformation, there needs to be some wisdom that your adult self needs to tell this false self that is feeling guilty. Because if you knew who you truly were, then you would understand the wisdom part of it, right? So clearly we need to parent this false self, and we need to give some wisdom to it. So first of all, we need to understand that the consciousness that we were in when we did the mistake is not the consciousness that we are in right now and will not be the consciousness in the future. So that is something that we really, really need to keep in mind. Then the next one is, I am here now. How do I show up in service? In action. Service means action. So I am here now. Whatever happened, happened. Now I am here. What can I do, or how can I show up now in this moment? So, whatever you have done, whatever mistake that is in the past, the guilt about it, the action can happen even now. You can choose at this moment to have an action that is different from your level of consciousness right now. Now, you cannot remember, see, when we say, oh, we want to transform guilt, it doesn't mean that we are going to transform what happened in our past, or we cannot transform our response. We can't. And you know that every cause has an effect. We cannot transform the effect either. You can't say, right now I'm such a conscious and transformed person. Why is this happening? Well, because the cause was done so many years back. So the effect will show up. So we cannot eradicate the effect of the mistake that we have done, but we can still show up in this effect in alignment in the present moment and take action so that the next cause is aligned with what we just did. Because clearly, all our lives are a series of cause and effects. So we can't go back and change the cause, nor can we change the effect, but we can understand this and change our response to the cause right now in this present moment. So that is something that we need to keep in mind when we are transforming guilt. So we cannot go back in time 15 years back, 20 years back, but we can show up with a different energy right now. Our focus needs to be on how can we alchemically change this rubble or mess that we have created because of our whatever mistake or not knowing. What can I do now to alchemically change it? So that is something that we need to keep in mind when we are transforming guilt. First, the 2 points that we would focus on is to know that you are in a rubble. Now, once you know you are in a rubble, the co-creation of what was my role in what just happened in my life, what is my role? So instead of asking, why did this happen to me? The question that we need to ask is, how can I transform this mess? How can I do something, show up in a way that this mess can be transformed? But sometimes the mess that we create is so big that it may not be able to transform. Then how do you accept whatever is in your present moment and love it? If we've done such a blunder and our kids end up in jail, then just love the kid in jail. What is the wallowing going to give us? So wallowing like I did this and this happened, this said. So this is going to keep us stuck in that energy level. So aligning with the present moment, learning from our past experiences and moving on is which takes us to transform the guilt. Love whatever is showing up in your present moment right now and see what was my co-creation. How can I show up differently right now?